The dangerous side to this is that Russia has its own elections this year, and of course there's no question that Putin will win, especially after he's banned opposition leaders, Alexei Navalny, from standing. So this big he-man that likes to ride horses with no shirt on and fight tigers and such like is obviously scared of these puny so-called opposition leaders. And the problem with an election such as like that, if Putin cannot buy off people with populist socio-economic promises, then will he do something more drastic? Will he, for example, try to do something in Ukraine? Maybe using various disturbances organized by Mikhail Saakashvilli and Yulia Tymoshenko and other people. So that is also a danger. Remember that in 2014, when Russia annexed the Crimea, Putin's ratings went through the roof. And his annexation of the Crimea was not opposed by even most of the opposition. I mean, very few opposition leaders. Kasparov and Nemtsov were the only two, as far as I know, who opposed them. Everybody else, including Khodorkovsky and others, and Navalny as well, supported Russia's annexation of the Crimea. So is Putin going to try something else to try and boost his numbers? The signs in Russia are not good for Putin. Of course, he'll win because he still has that nationalist vote. He can obviously do election fraud. He'll win in the first round. The last thing he wants is to go into a second round facing an opposition leader. But he can't really artificially boost the turnout. And the big problem in Russia today is boredom and apathy. Putin is not seen as this sort of fresh young face as he was back in 2000 when he replaced Boris Yeltsin, or later on when he was the Russian nationalist facing sort of the West or the so-called fascists in Ukraine. So all of that's become very tiring, and Putin's problem today is apathy, boredom, and of course the mobilization of particularly middle-class and young Russians, which Navalny will continue to do, even though he's not able to participate in the elections. So this is potentially dangerous on the part of Putin, because Putin has never been able to reconcile himself with the fact that his demands for Ukraine, which were never realistic, have not been accepted by President Poroshenko and cannot be accepted by any Ukrainian patriot president or patriotic Ukrainian parliament, because it would succumbing to Russian demands or Putin's demands would be tantamount to basically surrendering the country to Russian domination, or to become in effect a Russian vassal state, and that's not going to happen.